Thank the chairman, thank the ranking member for this prompt hearing after these weeks of tumult, and thank the panelists for being here as well. Mr. Barr, when were you nominated for your job?
I apologize, I don't have the date in my head. It was the spring of last year.
And do you know when you were confirmed for your job?
Yes, I took my post up in July of last year, July 2022.
July of 2022. So between January 20th, 2021 and July of 2022, who was in charge as Vice Chairman of Supervision at the Federal Reserve?
There was no Vice Chairman for Supervision during that time period.
And so when that happens, what's the Fed's process for delegating that authority to another member of the Board of Governors or a staffer, or how does that work?
I apologize. I don't know the technical answer to that question. We'll have to get back to you with a written
response.
Yeah,
if you get back to me, because what we're saying to my colleagues here is that from the turn of administration, we did not have a Vice Chairman of Supervision from January 20, 2021 until July of 2022, and that is precisely the time frames, colleagues, when this bank's business strategy went awry and was under this supervisory concern by the San Francisco Fed. So I just want to have that in the record. And when I look at the results of this bank and the UBPR, the call report data, and looking at your good testimony about the timeline that you've disclosed, it appears to me that we have a lack of supervisory urgency here. You outline that the trends in 2021 are what triggered concern by the Federal Reserve examiners, and I assume the state of California. We haven't heard from the state of California. We'd like to. But there was an exam in the summer of 2021, and then it took till the fourth quarter of 2021 to tell the bank we had some specific serious concerns, so that you met with the board then, not you, but the supervisors. And then the downgrades didn't come, and those tough visits didn't come till the summer of 2022. So really 12 months of discussion between the board and the state of California and the San Francisco Fed. That doesn't sound like a very urgent supervisory process. What is it? Do you consider that urgent to take a full 12 months in that process?
Mr. Hill, I think you raise an absolutely essential question. It's one of the things we're going to be asking in our review. Obviously, these events occurred before I arrived at the board. I'm going back and looking at what steps were taken and not taken. And I think it's a completely fair question. Should the supervisors really, been much more aggressive in the way that they responded to the risks that they saw and they were noting? And we're going to look carefully at that. Yeah.
I just was shocked with the business plan, way out of line with peer. You have matters requiring attention, which is a very low level, the lowest level editorial comment by a bank regulator. There was no proposal for a board resolution that I saw in your notes. So I look forward to the results of your comments. On this issue of Dodd-Frank versus S2155, my reading of bank law, just those things are just almost not important compared to 12 U.S.C. 1818 on cease and desist, where the FDIC, the primary bank regulator, the state can do whatever they want to a bank that's not operating in a safe and sound manner. Isn't that right, Mr. Barr?
The bank regulators have substantial discretion to use those authorities right when banks are operating in an unsafe and unsound manner. I agree with that.
And I thought Senator Crapo's comment yesterday was very, very important, that in the rule of construction, that final bit of information in S2155, the bipartisan bill, bicameral bill signed by President Trump, it says nothing in this bill shall be construed to limit the supervisory authorities for safety and soundness in any way. Isn't that what that rule of construction says?
Yes, I agree with that. I think we have substantial authority under existing law to regulate firms and supervise firms in a way that is appropriate for their risk and size and complexity.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, talking about the resolution process, are you open to a full investigation, not only of the deposit insurance and not only of the supervisory process, but also look carefully at the resolution process itself?
Yes, Congressman.
And are you going to conduct that yourself, or would you work with us on that?
Well, we would certainly be prepared to undertake that review and be transparent with you in regard to it.
Something I want to see considered, and I argued this back in 2008 as a private citizen and banker, which is in the resolution process to consider non-bank buyers for these assets. Do you agree that's important? We should consider that?
Yes, it is, Congressman.
Thank you. I yield back.